Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Nizzy's Sports Chat. I am your host, Nizzy. And in this video, you guys, we're going to be talking about the Aaron Rodgers saga. Obviously, all of us Packers fans are kind of freaking out here a little bit. The news broke last week on the first day of the draft that Aaron Rodgers wants a trade from Green Bay. Apparently, he's unhappy with management, which we kind of knew for the last couple of years already. I guess it stemmed from the Jordan Love pick. No surprise there. Apparently wants Gutekunst fired. The new news that just broke out today is that the Packers apparently offered Aaron Rodgers a new contract, which would have had him the highest paid quarterback in the league for years to come. And he declined the offer, did not want the contract, said that he's got more issues with the team, wants to be involved in personnel decisions, and so on and so forth. So I don't really know what the Packers can do to salvage this anymore, you guys. I think Aaron Rodgers is becoming greedy at this point. Maybe his new Hollywood wifey there is getting in his ear too much and has corrupted his mind a little bit. I don't know. But it's not looking good for us in the Packers right now. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be coming back, unfortunately. I think he'll end up retiring if we don't trade him. Personally, I'm on the Packers side a little bit with this, you guys. I can understand the frustration with Aaron Rodgers a little bit. But at the end of the day, you know, the GM's job is not to, you know, bend the knee and do anything Rodgers tells him to. It's to make sure that this franchise is long-lasting and has success for years to come. And one thing that's huge with this, you guys, that nobody talks about, nobody thinks about, is that we do not have an owner, right? Like, the fans technically own the Packers, right? So we don't have an owner who's a billionaire who can throw money at the team if we have losing seasons and if we're not pulling in the same amount of revenue to continue to build our product. You know, with a billionaire owner like Jerry Jones or something, and his team sucks, it doesn't matter because he can still throw in money to make extra revenue and get other things going to get revenue in for the team. So it doesn't hurt as much, right? Whereas the Packers, if the Packers became irrelevant and were losing for 5 or 10 or 15 years in a row, they might not have a team anymore. Literally might not have a team anymore because they rely so heavily on support of the fans. And if there's not the seats being filled, if people aren't buying jerseys and people aren't supporting the team, there's no revenue coming in. And because we don't have that billionaire owner to kind of cover that in case we do have a shit team for a few years because we decide to go all in on a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, it's going to hurt us significantly down the road. And I could see a lot of people leaving the fan base. Obviously, all us diehards will always watch the Packers, no matter who's playing, no matter if they lose for 30 years in a row, I'm still going to watch the Packers. But you're going to need all those kind of part-time fans to be able to keep the engine going, to keep this thing rolling, right? And I just think it's a ill-advised move to sell away all of our future assets and to keep pushing money down the road to screw us, basically, when Aaron Rodgers retires. And I know he says he wants to play as long as Tom Brady and wants to get up till, you know, play till he's 45 if he can. It's not realistic, man. It's just not realistic. So you're telling me we're going to have Aaron Rodgers for 8 more years? He's going to play for 8 more years? I just can't see that happening, especially with his injury history. Obviously, he's been okay the last couple of seasons, but he did have that injury against the Chicago Bears with that knee injury at the beginning of the year a couple of years back. Played through it all season, but wasn't really himself. Obviously, he came off an MVP season last year where he was phenomenal. But we did have a couple rough years before that when we still had Mike McCarthy in as our coach, right? So that makes me wonder, is Aaron that great? Obviously, he's good. You don't win an MVP being bad. But how much of that is actually due to the fact that we got a lot better of a coach in Matt LaFleur? I just think the schemes that Matt LaFleur runs and the way he's designed this offense just benefits Aaron Rodgers so much. And I think that hasn't been talked about enough, man. Because Aaron Rodgers was not looking that good in those 2 years before Mike McCarthy got fired. Like, our team was not looking good. We were losing records. We weren't making playoffs back-to-back years. Even in the 13-3 season, the first year with Matt LaFleur, Aaron Rodgers did not look that great, right? So that's 3 years in a row where he wasn't really himself, wasn't, you know, the MVP caliber player. And then he has one good season here where he's MVP again. And now it's like, oh, I'll play for another 7 years. Well, what happens next year if he gets injured and then retires? Or what happens next year if he has a bad year? I mean, just because you had one MVP season doesn't mean you're going to follow up with another MVP season and another MVP season and another one. Just doesn't work like that. Even if you look at Tom Brady in his 40s, he hasn't been a great quarterback. He's been good. He's definitely been good. but he's not been the Tom Brady of old. He can't do the same things he used to be able to do. The reason why Tom Brady has been able to win championships is because he's had a top 5, if not a top 3 defense every single time he goes to the frickin' Super Bowl. They didn't even allow a touchdown last year. So that's why Tom Brady's winning Super Bowls. It's not because he's got the best offense in the world or because he's the unaged quarterback that's going to play till he's 70. It's because he's got a formidable defense, which gets him on the field a lot, so he gets more opportunities, more kicks at the can. And that's why he's able to win Super Bowls. So even though it seems this nice idea that we can go get Aaron Rodgers all these weapons and be able to help him out on the offense, we had the number 1 offense last year. I don't think we really need that many more weapons for the guy. I like that we went and got Rodgers. So I don't really know what the complaints are about. He's got the best wide receiver in the game. He's got top 3 running back in the game. He's got a top 3 offensive line in the game. The guy's got a lot of help around him. Like we can't make these excuses that he's got nobodies. He's playing with a bunch of nobodies. I mean, we had how many All-Pros and Pro Bowlers on our... I think we had 7 Pro Bowlers on our team last year, or 8 Pro Bowlers? And you got no help? Like, come on. Give me a break, dude. And then we go out and have actually a really good draft this year, get a lot of help in areas of need, cornerback, offensive line, linebacker, defensive tackle, got a wide receiver for the slot. So I like where the Packers are heading here, so I really don't understand the disgruntlement from Aaron Rodgers. Obviously with the Jordan Love pick last year, I can understand the guy's upset from that, right? But at the end of the day, man, you're almost 40 years old. What are the Packers just never supposed to draft a quarterback? Obviously, Goody fucked up and should have told you. I get that part. Goody should have told him beforehand and said, hey, man, we're probably going to take a quarterback if he falls to where we want him to in this draft. And who knows, Aaron Rodgers still might have been pissed off at that point because he was already kind of in shambles with the front office anyways of the Packers. So, but anyways, guys, the news that came out today is that he didn't want to sign that contract. They were going to make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. They offered him the new contract. Rodgers doesn't want any part of it. Still wants out of here, so the saga continues, you guys. Who knows what's going to happen in the future here with the Green Bay Packers. Personally, I don't think we should budge. I mean, I don't really think we should trade the guy. I think we should try and keep him for 1 more year. If the guy doesn't want to come back, then he can retire, in my opinion. That's just where I stand with it, you guys. I just think the cap hit is too much this year if we were to trade him. It just doesn't make any sense, especially we drafted all the pieces, in my opinion, that are going to help us to get on another Super Bowl run if we come back with Aaron Rodgers. So I would just love him to just put all things aside for 1 more year, give it a crack at the can. If you're still unhappy and we didn't win again this year, fine. We'll get rid of you. At least it gives us less of a cap hit. You get to go to your team for the end of your career that you want to, and then we can get some guys for our future. So yeah, we'll see what happens, you guys. I'm not a huge fan of this whining and complaining and wishing that, basically saying he's not going to come back unless Goody gets fired. I don't like that kind of crap. Anytime you're wishing someone else gets fired because you don't like them, that's his livelihood, man. He's got a family to support. Gutekunst worked very hard to get to where he is today. I don't think he's a bad GM. I don't think he's a phenomenal GM. There's some mistakes he's made as a rookie GM in the last couple of years. But I don't think he's a bad GM at all. I thought he's had some nice drafts for us, man. He drafted Jair Alexander. He drafted Elton Jenkins. He drafted Darnell Savage. I mean, the last year's draft wasn't the best, but I mean, Jordan Love could end up being great. We don't know yet. A.J. Dillon, I think he's got a great career ahead of him. You got guys this year who got a lot of potential. So I don't think he's completely botched every draft and screwed us over. The only thing he could have done better is just let Aaron Rodgers know that he was going to take a quarterback last year, and I think all of this might have been smoothed over a little easier. Same thing as well, you guys. I really don't even want to pay Aaron Rodgers more than any other QB in the league. How are we supposed to get any talent if this guy says he wants extra receivers and we got to go sign free agents and we got to bring all these guys in? How the hell are we supposed to do that if we're paying him more than everyone else in the league? So we're going to play him $40 million plus a year. Well, now we're cap strapped. We have no salary cap room at all for nothing. Good luck trying to sign Devontae Adams next year if we give him freaking all the money in the world, right? How are we going to pay Devontae? How are we going to pay some of these other guys? Jair's going to be coming up for a contract soon in a couple years. We got to pay him, man. We need to keep Jair around. Darnell Savage in a couple years is going to need a contract. Elton Jenkins going to need a big-time contract. I mean, you're going to have some big-time players that are in key roles that aren't a quarterback that are going to need to get paid. And if we don't pay them, our team's going to go to shit. To be honest with you, Jair's going to be getting $20 mil plus a year. Elton Jenkins going to be getting $20 mil plus a year. AJ Dillon probably is going to get a payday eventually. I don't think he'll get as big as Aaron Jones, but it depends on how he does in the next couple of years. He has potential to be a freaking Derrick Henry. So if that's the case, you're going to pay the man. That's just how it goes, right? So if we end up paying Aaron Rodgers all this money, I don't know where we're going to have money to give to other guys. It's just going to push back our developmental process of Jordan Love. And I think Jordan Love's going to be ready after this year, in my opinion. I'm excited for the preseason to see what we can actually see from this kid and see if he's got the talent. We'll know in preseason, because if he can't even light it up in preseason this year and he looks like dog water in preseason, he ain't going to be the guy. And then the Packers are going to be in real big-time panic mode, right? But it's all speculation at this point. We have no idea what Jordan Love's going to look like. We have no idea if Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. Maybe they end up sorting things out. Maybe they end up trading him. I don't know. But in my personal opinion, man, I don't think the Packers should budge. I think they've already offered him what they could. They tried giving him the most money out of any quarterback in the league. They went and got him a wide receiver this year in the slot and Amari Rodgers. Rebeefed that offensive line for him. He's got great running backs. He's got a great number one in Devontae. The defense is getting better and better every year. I expect our defense to take another step this year. So I think our team's getting better, and he's complaining like it's getting worse. So I really don't understand it. Same with the mainstream media. They're saying that we're a trash team, and the only reason we win any game is because of Aaron Rodgers. But don't forget, when Mike McCarthy was here, we were losing. And we were losing multiple years in a row and not even coming close to playoffs. So the fact that they're saying that without Aaron Rodgers we would just tank is crazy to me. Maybe in the Mike McCarthy days we would have went 2-14 if Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing. But I think even with pretty much any decent quarterback in the league, because Matt LaFleur is such a good offensive mind, I just think that the Packers would be able to at least get a winning record and maybe even make playoffs. Like if Jordan Love starts this year, I think we'll have a chance at a winning record in playoffs. I really do, because I think our team is that good. I don't think we have a shit team. I don't think we have shit pieces around Aaron Rodgers. So I think this is all speculation and all kind of blowing up by the mainstream media because they got nothing else to talk to right now. They're trying to get ratings back because they're just nosediving. ESPN and all those mainstream media outlets are just nosediving, tanking right now because no one wants to watch them. So they're just trying to create drama and news out of anywheres, you know. So who knows if any of this is even that accurate. I know there was a report from the Kentucky Derby where Aaron Rodgers came out and said that he was really disappointed that the mainstream media broke the news, which is no surprise because it just creates a freaking shitstorm around the Packers organization, which is not good, especially before the draft. Like they're saying we had a terrible, like a C-grade draft, and that's only because of the Aaron Rodgers news. We actually had probably like a good B-plus draft. I thought we had a pretty nice draft, but they're saying it was a garbage draft only because of Aaron Rodgers news. They don't even look at who we picked. It's just because of Aaron Rodgers news that, oh, well, Green Bay's going to suck now because Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to play there. I just don't think it's true. I don't think we should bend the knee to Aaron Rodgers. If the guy isn't going to take the most money out of any quarterback in the league and he's saying basically I'm not going to play unless Gutekunst gets fired, we're not going to fire Goody, man. Like, just think with your brain for a minute here, guys. There's no freaking way that the Packers organization is going to start firing people because their quarterback tells them to. Could you imagine the ripple effects across the league if quarterbacks now started being able to get their GMs fired? Could you imagine? Could you imagine the pandemonium craziness that would start to ensue for the future quarterbacks and the future star players? Oh, I just don't like this GM. Like, I'm going to quit now unless you fire him. And then what? Now we're just going to start firing GMs every time players aren't happy? Might as well just have the players run the whole league then, right? What's the point of having a GM? Might as well have the players pick too then. They can pick the guys who play. Just makes no sense to me. I think it would cause massive negative ripple effects across the league if we ended up firing Goody just because Aaron Rodgers doesn't like the guy. And who the hell wants that anyways? You really want a guy fired and have him lose his livelihood because you're salty? I just don't like that shit, man. I'd never wish anyone losing their job because I don't like the guy. I mean, if the guy was terrible at his job, fine, then yeah, you should lose your job. But Goody hasn't been that bad as a job. He drafted a guy that Aaron Rodgers wasn't happy with because it's a quarterback. So just because he drafted a guy who Aaron Rodgers isn't happy with doesn't mean Jordan Love's going to be trash. We don't know yet. So how can we say that was a bad pick? You don't know if it was a bad pick because you haven't seen him yet. I mean, if he ends up being a decent quarterback in this league and being able to get us to the playoffs for years to come, 5-6 years from now when A-Rod's long gone, no one's even going to care that we drafted Jordan Love. We're going to be fucking happy about it. We're going to be happy about it, you guys. So let's just have some patience here, see what happens, see how this all plays out. have faith in the Packers organization. I think they'll sort things out here. And if we end up moving on from Aaron Rodgers, I'm still excited for our future, man. Because like I said, I'm a Packers fan first. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan second. So I'm always going to root for the Pack first and what's in the best interest of the team. And a lot of you guys may think, well, it's in the best interest of the team to have Aaron Rodgers back. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. If it jeopardizes the next 10 to 15 years of our future, I don't think it is the best thing to have him back. Because it's not guaranteed we're going to win a Super Bowl if we have him back. We haven't done it yet. You know what I mean? And who's to say if maybe Tom Brady was on our team that we wouldn't have won a Super Bowl? Or maybe if we had a different quarterback that maybe we would have been able to do it. Because if you watch that game last year, it's not all Matt LaFleur's fault we lost. It's not all Kevin King's fault we lost. We had 3 back-to-back-to-back interceptions, man, last year against Tom Brady in the second half. And guess what happened? 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Rodgers couldn't get it done. So, in my opinion, on those 3 interceptions, all we needed was 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown on one of those 3 interceptions. He couldn't do it. So, is everything his fault? No, because we shouldn't have kicked the field goal late. We shouldn't have been in man-to-man coverage on that one where Scotty Miller beat him. Kevin King, right, at the end of the second half there, or the first half. But other than that, man, you got to put a little blame on Rodgers, too. You got to put a little blame on him, too. Could have ran it into the end zone on that 3rd down and threw it away, too, right? So, I mean, there's a lot going on here with this, you guys. I love watching A-Rod play, but at the end of the day, I don't like all the drama involved with this. It just stirs up the pandemonium throughout the team. Drama's never good. You want the team to start building together, and we don't even know who's going to be our starting quarterback day one now, so that just kind of puts us behind the 8 ball a little bit with starting to prepare for next season because the guys don't even know who's going to be throwing them the ball. If I'm Jordan Love right now, I'm calling my receivers, I'm calling my tight ends, and I'm getting some guys together here, and I'm going to start hosting some team player practices here and just start hucking the ball to the guys, getting comfortable. I've noticed, too, on the Packers page on Instagram, Jordan Love has liked literally every single post since this Aaron Rodgers debacle shit came out. Jordan Love has literally liked every single fucking post the Packers have posted on Instagram. So you could tell what that guy's thinking. He's like, oh, keep fucking her up, Aaron. You keep running your mouth and try and get out of town. I will happily take over this wonderful situation. Because I don't think Green Bay's a bad situation to be in. I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that would wish they'd be in the Green Bay situation. I think Aaron Rodgers is just picky, and I think because he's got a new Hollywood girlfriend, he wants to get out onto the West Coast there and live kind of the Hollywood lifestyle. He is a California kid at the end of the day. He wishes he got drafted by San Francisco. I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow gets to the Raiders. I seen someone talking about that, actually. The possibility of him going to the Raiders, and then maybe we get Derek Carr and some picks in return, which I don't mind, actually. And the reason why I don't mind this, the person I was listening to who was talking about this basically said, like, Derek Carr and Devontae played college ball together. So that's actually not a bad option. If Jordan Love needs 1 more year of development, I'm not upset with if we bring Derek Carr in for a year or 2, because he does have that connection already with Devontae Adams. It gets Aaron out of here. And as bad as it sounds, Aaron's going to go to a shit team. There's no fucking way that Vegas is going to win a Super Bowl. If he goes to Vegas, they ain't winning this year. Maybe not even next year either. Maybe not. He probably won't win a Super Bowl if he goes to Vegas, to be honest with you. Because they're in the toughest division in the AFC. You got to go against frickin' Herbert and Patrick Mahomes twice a year. Good luck, buddy. And you want to get out of Green Bay to go there? Good luck. Same thing if you go to Denver. You're stuck in the same division again. So, I mean, I don't even think he'll be able to get to a Super Bowl if he goes to Denver or if he goes to the Vegas Raiders. I just don't think it'll happen. I think the only place Aaron Rodgers could go to get a Super Bowl is probably San Francisco, and that's just because Kyle Shanahan is such a phenomenal coach, and they have a top 3 defense. But obviously he's not going there anymore either because they got their quarterback of the future. Jimmy G is going to be healthy this year, hopefully. So they got that bridge gap, and then Trey Lance is going to take over. So they could care less. They're out of the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes now, in my opinion. Obviously, the Rams, same thing. They got Stafford. They're not going to give Stafford away for A-Rod. So I just don't see a lot of options for the guy. I don't really know where he's going to go, where he thinks he's got a better chance to win a Super Bowl, man. I mean, I really don't know. And Tom's going to play for a few years. You're going to sit around and wait till Tom's finished up, then you're going to go snag his spot in Tampa. Like, I don't know, man. I don't see him having a better chance at winning a Super Bowl with any other team than the Packers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below, man. What do you think about this Aaron Rodgers saga going on here? Would you be happy if they fired Goody for Rodgers? Do you think that's a little insane thought to want to fire a guy because you're unhappy with him? You think the Aaron Rodgers will play for us next season? What are your thoughts, you guys? I'd love to know in the comments section down below. And once again, this is Nizzy with Nizzy Sports Chat signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.